Back in the shop working on the 68 Camaro project. As you can see, it's looking pretty bare. About a few more things, both good and bad, that I wanted to point out. So let's take a look at this thing. Just gonna give you all a little side shot of the car, see how it's on the hoist. Like I said before, this hoist works good for the kind of work that I do. Some guys do this kind of work on a rotisserie, and that's great. I don't have one, so I make use of what I do have. So the hoist was put in 55, used for the old cars with a solid axle front, solid axle rear. In this case, I've got some outriggers mounted to it, and it works really good for the kind of work that I do. So let's say supported front, middle, and rear. This particular car, I'm not cutting the rockers off. They seem to be pretty good, so I'm not going to worry about tubing the doors. I probably will run a tube across behind the door openings just to keep that measurement accurate when we pull the floor pan out of it. But I just wanted you to get a peek at this setup. This is what I do. Like I say, not everybody does it the way I do it, but it works for me. So let's get underneath of this thing and check out some stuff. All right, first thing I wanted to point out, which is actually a good thing. Most of you know the Camaro subframes are only held on with 4 bolts, and the nuts are in these sheet metal retainers, which are buried inside and really hard to get at. And anybody that's ever removed one of these subframes knows that typically the bolt and the nut are rested together, and it just twists the nut cage right off of it. Fortunately on this one, all the remaining bolts that were in it came right out, and I did not have to mess around with them. All right, now that the subframe's out of the way, we can get a little better look at what's going on with the floor pan situation. Like I say, old repair, not exactly a factory look, but that's thick enough it may survive the apocalypse. We'll take a quick look at the rocker again. Like I said, rocker's actually in pretty good shape, other than somebody seems to have stuck a floor jack in the middle of both of them. So let's see if I can pop that out. Let's say no plans to replace those if they don't need to come off, which they don't. Let's jump underneath here. The spring pockets look good. Actually, the whole rear subframe of this car is in really good shape. As I said before, the inner wheelhouse is pretty good shape, so they're going to stay in. But what I do want to try and get a look at is these outers. And these are actually supposed to be spot welded to the quarter lip right here, which you can see they're not. You know, a lot of us like to grab the edge of the quarter wheel opening and run our fingers around there just to kind of feel what's been done. Like I say, use caution when doing that. As you can see, you could injure yourself if you run into this situation. All right, got the fuel tank out. Get a better look at the trunk floor, see what's going on here with that fiberglass situation we saw on the inside. Come around here to the front. A little bit there. Swing around to the side on that back corner. And this is a shot in the center between the gas tank mounts. That's the old fuel fill, which I haven't taken out yet, but I did discover a little duct tape here. So let's see what's hiding under that. Ooh, and there we are. All right, that wraps up part 2 of the disassembly stage. Like I said, I realize these first 2 are a little boring. Just kind of giving you the rundown on what I'm going to be doing, what direction the build's going to go. Stay tuned for part 3. I'm going to start tearing the main floor pan out and getting the new one put in. See you next time.